Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. It's a hot and muggy day here in Sacramento, California. It's not even the dog days of summer, but it is officially hot outside, and the mugginess is really wearing you down. Makes you feel like it's hotter than it really is. But lots of wrestling news going out there in the world today, so let's just dive deep down into it. The story that will never die. A lot of people, drugged up a lot of things, thinking that maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin was in a lot of hot water, basically because Chris Jericho got to do the live podcast with John Cena after Monday Night Raw on Monday. When this was announced, I believe it was announced during WrestleMania, or at least during WrestleMania 31 weekend. And a lot of people were trying to draw up a lot of heat between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon, saying that he was inside of hot water. Yesterday, we had a lot of moves inside of the WWE universe, basically with shows switching networks and announcing new shows coming to new networks and things like that. And it's been a few years, but Tough Enough is going to be making his return, and it was announced that Stone Cold Steve Austin would not be the host of that show. Stone Cold Steve Austin has a lot of things going on his plate right now, with the two reality shows, I guess you can say, that are done on the CMT network. He has his podcast that he does online. He tries to keep up on his ranch while he's trying to dip his toe into making movies and TV shows in Los Angeles, and he's trying to come up on a date when maybe that stuff's behind him. But it seems that the people that inside of the wrestling world are never going to let go of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's one of the guys that's heavily rumored to be having a match at WrestleMania 32. I officially don't believe any of those rumors. I think that Stone Cold Steve Austin hasn't wrestled a match since WrestleMania 19 for a reason. Yeah, if Vince McMahon came calling, with $1 million and $1.5 million, $2 million for him to have this match, no doubt he would jump into the gym and get cut and get into in-ring shape. Don't trust anybody. Sort of Stone Cold Steve Austin trying to relive those glory days for one more match. But even then, who would that match be against? Would you try to drug up Austin versus Vince one more time? Would you do Austin versus Rock and try to relive that rivalry? Austin versus Triple H was rumored a few years ago. CM Punk was a heavily rumored guy because of how much he looked up to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they were sort of the two leaders of both of the different eras from that time. But I don't know. I listened to Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast yesterday, and he tried to put all of the heat to rest. He tried to say that there was nothing going between the two of them, that he didn't do WrestleMania because really there was nothing for him to do. He didn't want to just go out there and deliver a promo welcoming everybody to WrestleMania 31. If you think about Stone Cold Steve Austin and his history with the WWE since retiring and hanging up the boots and not being the sheriff of Monday Night Raw anymore, there's always a long time in between his appearances. He makes you wait. He makes it, what happens, really means something. He doesn't want to just come in, collect a check and say, see you next time. Because then, when Stone Cold Steve Austin is rumored to be on Monday Night Raw, it doesn't mean anything. If you think of in the last year how much Hulk Hogan has really dropped in his value to Monday Night Raw every time that he's announced, he came in for his big comeback, and everybody thought that was really cool. And then he turned into the shillman, where he was showing up on the show at least once a month, just talking about the network. And then he was there talking about breast cancer awareness, and it just got to the point of where a Hogan appearance doesn't really mean anything. That at his age, he's not really going to get physical. It did surprise a lot of people at WrestleMania 31 that he did get into it with the NWO versus DX on the outside of the Triple H versus Sting match. A lot of people were really surprised that he really took a bump during that, but I think it's Hulk Hogan. Wrestling's in his blood. One bump's not going to kill the guy. He's not going to go over the top to do anything that's really going to kill him. But I don't know, when I think about Vince offering the role of Tough Enough to Stone Cold Steve Austin, I can sort of see Vince having a chip on his shoulder, that Stone Cold Steve Austin turned him down, saying that shooting was during a time when he was already promised that he was going to be shooting another show. It wasn't that Stone Cold Steve Austin said he didn't want to do it. He just said that he didn't want to do it at the time they were doing it. If they would have pushed it back or changed the schedule, I'm sure that Stone Cold Steve Austin would have done it. But I'm sure that because of that, Vince McMahon is a guy that does hold grudges against people, basically thinking that they said no to me, so they must think they're better than me or something like that. The one thing that they have going for them is Triple H, and you've seen that Triple H has been able to mend a lot of fences along the way. If there is something that comes up that they do need Stone Cold Steve Austin to do, or he's just been gone away from the universe too long. I think that Triple H is the kind of guy that will get Austin on the phone, make sure that there is no heat between the two of them, make sure that he brings Austin in to do something so people know that, you know, there isn't anything there. You know, we finally got to see Macho Man Randy Savage go into the Hall of Fame after the big time rumors that the Poffo family was going to say no and was not going to be a part of that. We got to see Ultimate Warrior make his return to WWE before his death. We got to see Bruno Sammartino, something that people thought would never ever happen, with him going in and returning at WrestleMania 29 to the WWE family. But I think there might be, you know, some shark-infested waters right now between Austin and Vince. But I think that if anything ever does come up for Stone Cold Steve Austin to be involved with WWE, I think that call will be made, and I think that, you know, both guys will agree to you know, to come together. If you think about what happened between those guys in 2002 with Austin walking out on the company and Vince trying to publicly embarrass Stone Cold Steve Austin, that was probably as bad as it's ever going to get between the two guys. And if they were able to patch it up then, I think they should be able to patch this up as well. When it comes down to it, the Chris Jericho interview with John Cena I thought was an A+. I don't think that Austin doing the interview with John Cena was going to be able to bring anything else to the table. Jericho and Cena having road stories, actually being friends, being two guys that really worked inside of the ring together. They talked about their match at Vengeance 2002. They talked about their match at SummerSlam, whatever year that was. You know, that sort of stuff made it work. You know, Austin and Cena would be able to have a discussion. Maybe they'd be able to talk about what it's like to carry the company on their shoulders. But that's really the only thing I can think of. And plus, you know, Austin has already, you know, interviewed John Cena when he showed up at the Monday Night Raw, and I believe he had him on his RV, and they talked before the Monday Night Raw, and that was when he did a whole bunch of podcasts from that Monday Night Raw. He interviewed Zeb, he interviewed Cesaro, he interviewed Big Show, John Cena. He knocked out a whole bunch of names, and I think he pretty much took a month off from his podcast just by showing those podcasts throughout the month. But fun times up ahead. Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm sure it's going to be a long time before we see him in a WWE ring doing anything again. But, you know, like this year with Stone Cold Steve Austin Day, I might have started the rumor, but it was a good rumor to start that Austin be showing up on Raw. But, you know, every WrestleMania time, people are going to be thinking, you know, with WrestleMania being in Texas, even though it's not where his ranch is in Texas, you know, it's only a short little drive. You know, you think about Austin being located in Los Angeles. It wasn't that long of a drive or a flight to get him up to San Jose for WrestleMania 31. So, you know, the rumors are going to be there once again for Austin to be part of WrestleMania 32. I don't think he's going to wrestle, but I don't think people are going to put that to rest until, you know, the card's already set and we know that Austin's not showing up.